Let's go to some more questions here then before we go to break and start spoiling some shit. All right, we got some good questions here as always. Whenever we throw out the flyer, shout out to _ Rob J. He says, "Why solo leveling so good? I got 10 chapters left before I'm completely caught up." Man, who you telling?
Wait till you catch up to the latest chapters,
bro. Oh, Jinwoo, boy.
The beginning of the month, we doing we gonna do the talk.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We supposed to do that once a month where we talk about
the current
solo leveling, and it's time.
So
that man is a monster, bro.
So I brought up that question to also bring up. It's gonna be shit. Let me see if I can find his ad real quick. I brought up solo leveling, his Rob J questions first because I wanted to go to the homie Lobo at Lobo5, a bunch of numbers. He's barely on Twitter, but he says he never writes in Twitter, but he had to share. He had to ask something of us, and I'm going to it specifically. He says, here it is. He says, "I've been listening to you guys for a while now, and this is the first time of me leaving a comment. I love whenever you guys start reading solo leveling, but y'all need to read Overgeared. It's so good. And it's the same artist as solo leveling, which is super clear. Like
we can definitely tell.
You can definitely tell. It's just beautiful.
It's fun.
So he gave us the link so we can read it. We only read 3 chapters so far, just to dip our toe in it. But I did want to talk about that before we moved on to more questions. What did you think about the first 3 chapters of Overgeared? Super samey-esque, like.
Yes, but also like here's what it does extremely different. Yes. I knew he was going to get into that shit. It doesn't. He doesn't seem battle oriented at all, right?
Yes.
Like he did fight, and like I thought the way they portrayed it initially in like those first few chapters is almost like he was talking to like another character, but it was an NPC, and I do really like the whole build of this, right? Because this is an actual game. This isn't like they're in they're like this world is taken over by this thing. This is an actual game, and it seems like real life currency is affected a lot by this actual game. And I like that. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, me too. I like the fact that the main character. Well, I don't like the fact. I think it's interesting that the main character is super addicted to this game. He blows a bunch of fucking money. Like it's super hyper realistic when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I think that's super interesting because he's known to be a super average dude, below average worker who's just earning money just so he can pay for the game. But he comes across this quest that it quote unquote essentially stumbles upon that it leads to this super rare item, which is a class change. And he tries to he recovers this quest item, and the quest gets upgraded to a double S tier quest, which means that it's an extremely hard quest now. And the only way he can escape is if he can find a way to beat all the people. I don't want to go. I don't want to spoil that too much because that shit was fucking hilarious when I read it.
Yeah, that first chapter though, bro. Like it kind of shows him like they're getting ready to fight this super overpowered boss, and like he walks in and he just completely cloaked out, and they're like, "Oh, we can't tell what kind of armor he has. He must be a newbie."
Yep.
Like clearly he can make dope stuff. Like he clearly made a cloak that can block any kind of perception on him, and
or maybe his level was just really low because you saw what happened.
That's true too. But he goes in and he just starts mining. And the boss is like blasting him, blasting his ass though, and he's just standing there. They're like, he's unscathed. Oh, that's because it's the armor's it's the item's effect.
Yep. And then it just goes right back to
mining minerals.
Yeah,
in the boss level because it don't even matter.
Yeah, because he said that's the only way for him to get that mineral is if that boss is there. It's super interesting. Essentially, he's a blacksmith. I'm not going to say much more than that. Read it with us. We're probably going to talk about this a lot more when we read a little bit further. But it's super interesting, man. Overgeared.
I agree.
You can find it on Reaper Scans. I'm definitely gonna keep reading it because I do want to see what the fuck this is gonna be. Super intriguing.
What is it, 70 chapters too?
Yep, it's only 70 chapters right now, so it's not too hard of a read. Knowing me, I'll probably blow through that in like a day.
Polo stuff.
But I'm glad you gave us that, Lobo. I appreciate it, man. That's a good one. That was a good recommendation. We're gonna continue to talk about that. I'm probably gonna talk about it more next week when I read some more chapters.
How far you want to go? You want to get? Want to go halfway through it? Hit 35, 40?
Let's do 35.
Bet.
I'm down with that. All right, so back to the questions.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu. Hello and tell, is that you?